Hello, good evening and welcome. How are we, chaps?
I am wonderful, if I'm honest with you, because I get to be here. He had to go get a pen and paper. Like
He did. Yeah, look, he's wearing his tie. Look, he's all official.
He's going to be reporting it. He's going to be like that with his notepad, writing his notes out.
Do you know, guys? If you're good enough to have me on the show, then I need to dress up for the occasion.
We don't ever bother. What's our excuse?
What's become expected of us, Mr.
Yeah,
Gates.
exactly. Pair of scruff bags. So anyway, those of you watching either live at your own leisure, as I always say, don't forget, drop a like on the stream, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Duke, what are they doing with the bell today? The other day they were, molesting it, weren't they?
Molested the bell.
Yeah, they molested it.
I'm really running out of I don't want to go. We'll go back to bashing the bell. Let's bash the bell again.
Bash the bell. Bash the bell.
I'm going to do that after this show.
Yeah. Sharky's in the building. How you doing, Sharky? We was having a little chat on a little bit early, about 7:30. I put out a premiere on the channel about Declan Rice. Is he worth 400k? And just asking the question, because there's a rumor doing the rounds, that he's going to get offered a 400k a week contract when this Czech guy comes in, apparently. And I was just asking the question, is he worth it? And Sharky and I had a little bit of a back and forth. Not anything nasty. It was all very very constructive and very polite and all the rest of it. So welcome along, Sharky. Walshy's in the building. Welcome along, Walshy. And Hammerhead, how you doing, mate? Evening, guys. Hope you well. Chomping at the bit for tomorrow. Going for a 3-2 win. Oh, that'll be an entertaining game. And an end to end. The Europa clean sheets, unfortunately, will come out victorious. We are massive. We are. Wow. And we're getting so massive that we've had to draft in hang on, he's over there, down. We've had to draft in an extra one because we couldn't cope with between just Duke and I, so we had to get in some reinforcements. So, gentlemen, I'll start with you, Ben, because obviously you're the guest in essence.
Thank you very much.
Your thoughts on the game tomorrow at the CegekA Arena, I believe it's called.
Oh well, do you know what, mate? I think. Obviously, I want us to go out there and win the game. I think, regardless of the team we put out, I think we've got the confidence of winning at the moment. We're building a momentum that whoever we put out there, whether it's in Europe, whether it's in the Carabao Cup, whether it's in the league, we've got that momentum of the winning habit. And I think we just need to keep that up. And I think he will change the team quite a bit, similar to, previous Europa games and the Carabao Cup game. Yeah. But I think, in terms of the players that he'll bring in, a lot of them aren't. It's not like they're far away from the first team. A few of them are unlucky not to be in the team, and then a few of them are sort of feeling their way into the squad. And I just think it's healthy for the competition of the squad to just keep winning every game, and hopefully we can do it tomorrow.
Luke, your thoughts?
Yeah, spot on, mate. This winning. Like I say, the winning habit, everything's habitual, and it's addictive. Let's not lie. I mean, as I said to you the other day, Rob, I hate Saturdays at the minute. I hate Saturdays because we're not playing. So therefore, what is Saturday football when we're not part of it? Do you know what I mean? So I'm kind of like, come on now. But then I'm getting to, I think that's the only reason for that is because we're winning.
James.
We're playing such good football that I'm like, I just want to see us play again. I'm itching for that next game. We'll get through this and we got Liverpool on Sunday, and obviously we'll do a video on that.
Yeah.
But I'm not worried about that. Bring on Liverpool. Fuck it. I'm literally This winning
Why not?
feeling is amazing, and like it's been so long since we had anything like this as West Ham fans of this. I don't know when it's going to end. I don't want it to end. I'm a realist to know that at some point something will happen and this could go Pete Tong. But right now, fuck it, I'm riding this until the wheels fall off. This is amazing.
Oh,
and tomorrow, I have a feeling it's going to continue. And it's going to continue well. I don't care that we're away from home. You know, the hardest away game in this group was obviously Zagreb, the opener. We blitzed out of the water. We pretty much just strolled through that, had a little walk in the park. And I don't expect anything different tomorrow. I'm going to disagree with Hammerhead, though. I think the clean sheet will stay intact, despite it doesn't matter how he changes it around. As Ben said there, you know, we've got players there that probably do deserve to be playing more regular first team football than they're actually currently getting. You know, the likes of Dawson and Diop, you know, they do deserve to be playing a bit more regular first team football. And it's kind of lucky for them that, you know, there is a game, you know, 2 games a week. So they are getting that opportunity to get more first team football under their belt, you know, whereas if they do go elsewhere, they will be considered core first team players, but they're not going to be playing in Europe. They're not going to be advancing us through cup games. So I think that, you know, you don't look a gift horse in the mouth in that sense. So, you know, I'm buzzing. I'm absolutely buzzing for tomorrow. As I at the moment, as I am for every game, to be honest with you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're playing some good football, and even when we're not playing good football on the odd occasion, we're still managing to grind results out. And that's the mark of a good team, in my view.
Listen, they bang on about it with City. They bang on about it with United. Well, they banged on about it, with United. They go on about Chelsea. You know, they can have a bad game and grind out a 1-0 win. They can grind out a result despite the fact that they've had an absolute mare out on that pitch. And I have to say, there was periods of the Villa game that I didn't feel that we were in control. There were points, as I said, I felt we sat too deep. We didn't pressure the players, but we still ground out the result. Let's, you know, I think this again, as I said, I think the scoreline did flatter us slightly, and I think it was a bit belittling for Villa, a 4-1 scoreline. But you know what? I don't care. We got the win. We won, and that's at the end of the day. You know, I've been having a few backwards and forwards with people on Twitter over the last couple of days. Someone mentioned about Declan Rice not being world class, Declan Rice not being worth more than 50 million quid, and I think I brought up a point about the fact that he was man of the match in the championship final, European Championship final, until he was hauled off. They threw the well, he was on the pitch when they equalised. Listen, mate, do you watch football? Like, do you honestly, to anyone that is currently trying to belittle Declan Rice or moan at West Ham players who think he's over, like the other teams, he's overrated. Do you actually watch the game? Do you understand the fine nuances of the game? It's not just about a goal scorer banging the ball in the back of the net. It's not just about your goalkeeper sticking out a big fat left hand or right hand and pushing it around the post. You've got to have this back four and people like Declan Rice. And Declan Rice controls games with ease, with confidence. He's 22 years old. Yeah. Christ, the boy has got at least 10 years at the top, minimum of 10 years at the top, bar, touch wood, a Dean Ashton-esque type injury. This kid has got the world at his feet, and he can go as far as he wants to. And I just, you know, at the moment, he's our captain. You know, Mark Noble's the club captain. I get that, but right now, Declan Rice is out there leading by example. Part of me wants him to play tomorrow for that reason, but then there's also part of me that's going, please save him for Liverpool, please.
Ben, The
mate.
team tomorrow, I rather suspect it's going to be quite heavily rotated. Do you think that that's the right move, given that we've obviously got the Liverpool game on Sunday, or do you think that maybe we need to try and find a sort of like a hybrid team, sort of like half and half? What would you be thinking,
I think
Tom?
Moyes. I think Moyes will go with quite similar setup and team that he's gone with in the previous European games. And let's be honest, we've won every game and not conceded a goal. So why change that? I think I mentioned on one of the videos previously that the Liverpool game last season, that's the one game where I think we bottled it a little bit. We was a bit fearful of them.
Yeah.
And we didn't go for them. And they had a few injuries at the time and they was there for the taking and we bottled it. And I think, no, let's go out there. Look, I'm not saying go toe to toe with them from the first minute. Let's be careful about it. But let's show them that we deserve to be in that top four and we can give them a good going over. So I've got to be honest, mate, I've just jotted down a little team here that I'm thinking that we'll go with. Shall I rattle it off, or is that not the right time?
For tomorrow's match, we're talking.
For tomorrow's game, yeah.
Yep, go for it.
So I go. My personal view, I'd actually be going 3-4-3. Bit of a change of formation, but I think we can. Ooh. I think we can do it.
I did wonder whether he might. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
I'd go. I'm going Areola in goal because I think there's not much between the two, but I'm thinking. I think Areola coming in has made Fab raise his game, and I think he is number one in the Premier League at the minute. I'm going to go back three of Boufal, Dawson, and Diop.
Yep.
Which I think could be solid defence. I then go four in midfield, or wing backs, shall we say? I'm going to go Fredericks, Noble, Rice, and Masuaku in the middle of the park. And then I'd go Benrahma, Yarmolenko and Vlasic as the front three. And on that basis, I think generally, probably, the only person who's probably starting the weekend out of that 11 is Rice. And he sat out the City game, so I think Souček should get the rest this week. And I think from what Lanzini done the weekend, I think he's getting the start over Benrahma for me against Liverpool. So hence why I've put Benrahma as starting the game tomorrow.
Fair enough. Duke, before I bring up, because I've got a little slide all prepared, that. Do you want to go through what you think your starting 11 will be tomorrow?
See, I wouldn't change. I wouldn't change the formation. I think, and the reason I wouldn't change, a bit like Budgie now, I wouldn't change too much. Now, the only reason I say I wouldn't change the formation is it's tried, it's tested, and it's currently working. Much same for the game on Sunday. You said there, Ben. Why is my internet decided to play up now? God's sake. We sat back. We were fearful last year. This season, we don't have to be. We played 4-2-3-1 against City. Mm-hmm. And look at what we did. All right, we beat them in penalties. I'd take a draw against Liverpool on Sunday. I'd love a win, but I'd still take a draw against Liverpool on Sunday. And if after 90 minutes it's 0-0 like we did against City, so be it. Right? Still unbeaten, like in that sense of the word, we haven't lost the game. Tomorrow, I'd stick with 4-2-3-1. I would probably bring Boufal back in for Ben Johnson, just because I want Ben Johnson playing on Sunday. For me, right now, Ben Johnson has the hold on that right back shirt. That's his, and I don't care. He's absolutely phenomenal right now. But I'd give Boufal the shot. Just get some games, get minutes under his belt, because he's not played just because he's not. Ben Johnson's playing so well. So I'd have him. I'd go Diop and Dawson. And for my sins, and
you're not, are you? You're not putting him there, are you?
Yeah, I'm putting him there.
I've told you about this.
I'm putting him there. And
I've told you, don't put him there, for God's sake.
He's going there only because listen, Cresswell is phenomenal this season. As someone mentioned earlier, how does he do it? You know, it's unbelievable.
He's getting better. He's getting better.
He is, but I just think he needs a fucking break.
No, he does. He does.
I really think he needs a break. That ain't a bad shout, but maybe it's probably. Actually, if I had to pick out the two, good shout, I'd probably pick Fredericks at left back over the Mass. To be fair, or even Johnson. I'd give Johnson the run out at left back, although he's doing so well out on the right. I'd give him the run out. You've got a choice of three, really. I think Lanzini. I think Lanzini starts tomorrow alongside Nobes.
Okay. You think he's going to be a bit deeper?
I think he'll start alongside Nobes in much the same sort of way that he played against Burnley last season when he sat deep. But I also think he may well start one of the other two boys in there and possibly even put a 3, or he'll put Lanzini in the 10 and ask him to drop in to create the 3 when we're off the ball.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? So I think you'll probably see Noble, Lanzini, maybe Souček, just because I think we need Rice for Sunday. And then up front, I think I'm very much in agreement with Ben, Vlasic, and Benrahma's got to find that spark of confidence that he had at the start of the season. And no disrespect to Genk, it wouldn't be a bad place to go and find it. You know, they're not. I'm not saying they're pushovers, but they're not going to be that that kind of Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea-esque type team that would kind of in a sense nullify him if his confidence is not here. So I'd like to see him, and I'd love to see him play the number 10 role more. The left-sided role more than the number 10 role, because during the league games at the minute you have Fornals out on the left, you have Benrahma playing that 10. He just doesn't seem to be getting the. I'll take that all day long.
I knew you would.
I'll take that all day long. That man is my hero. So thank you for that. I love you. He was who I modelled myself on when I played as well. So I'd like to see Benny out on the left to have that chance of running at the players to get in to whip that curling shot. Where he's playing in the 10, he hasn't got that great deal of space to move into because he's already in it. Great assist on Sunday for Deck for his goal.
Yeah.
But I just want to see. I want to see Benrahma, in essence, go out onto the left and get let loose. Just go play. Go be you, please, because he on his day he's the most technically gifted player that we've currently got, and he can be amazing if you just go have that free roll, son. Go be you. And hopefully we'll see that tomorrow night against Genk.
Fair enough. Well, I'll get what I suspect might well be going on the pitch tomorrow. Let's go full screen with that, and I'll get rid of that banner. I don't think there'll be a change in formation. I did sort of wonder whether he might tweak it a little bit, but I think he's going to stick 4-2-3-1. Areola, no problem. Diop and Dawson centre backs. I think Kufau's coming in at right back. I don't see. I think we need Cresswell in there for his delivery on the free kicks. He's, as I think we've discussed it before, didn't we, Ben, last week? The delivery that he plays in is absolutely top draw. It's we really need it, and that's kind of why if Bowen isn't playing, I think it's incumbent that Cresswell has to, because otherwise, who's playing in the free kicks at that sort of level of quality? Do you know what I mean? So I think Cresswell has to play. I think it's going to be Noble and Král. We've barely seen anything of Král. Obviously, he's had the COVID. He's now over that. I think he possibly will get some minutes under his belt tomorrow. Noble, again, I thought he had a good game against City last week, what I saw of him. And he's never going to let you down. Yes, he's not got the legs. He's not going to sort of like go charging around the pitch like he did 5 years or so ago. But he still can spray the ball around. He can keep the pass, keep the passes ticking over. In front of them, I think we're going to have Vlasic, Lanzini, and Ryan Fredericks on the right. And then I think in the number 9 role, I think it could be Andrei Yarmolenko. I'm sort of, I'm a little bit torn. I mean, there's a few that I'm like, well, it could be him. It could be him. I am torn between Lanzini and Benrahma for exactly the reason that you said earlier, where maybe Lanzini's going to start against Liverpool, so Benrahma could start against Genk tomorrow. Maybe even putting Vlasic as a false 9 in the place of Yarmolenko and putting Masuaku on the left. Whatever. There's a lot of things that you could sort of do to fiddle around with it, but I think it's probably going to be something in and around that sort of area as to what we're going to kick out. You guys in the live chat, get your 11s in, give us your formation as well, and just give us your starting 11, and we'll pick the bones out of it as well. Any thoughts on that, chaps? Duke, start with you.
If he does start with Yama up front, okay, can we somehow put him in a Ukrainian shirt under his West Ham shirt?
Yeah, that'd be good.
Because he just seems to be banging. He scores for fun when he plays it international, and plays like a completely different person. Now, I listen. I don't think he offers us enough, personally. He doesn't offer us enough up front. Especially starting. I get really frustrated with Yama when he's on the pitch. Now, I'd actually rather see Vlasic moved into that forward role.
Yeah,
I'd rather see Vlasic play more central, and then take your pick out of the other 3 or 4 that we've got that can play wide. Even Yarmolenko, if we have to, just because fitness for the others for the league games. If we have to, I'd rather see Vlasic up top. I've got a feeling there's going to come a moment at some point this season where we see an absolute worldie from Vlasic, and the boy's confidence comes good, and everything now works out for him. He is literally this season's Benrahma.
That's an interesting shout, Budgie. Okaflex. He's my 11 is the same as yours, but he'd play Okaflex instead of Yarmo as the 9.
That ain't a bad shout.
Interesting. How about you, Ben? What was your thoughts on the 11 that I've put on the screen there?
Yeah, do you know? I mean, to be honest, I think generally the players that we've all put out on the pitch are fairly similar. Maybe the system slightly different. Actually, thinking about it, I do agree with Duke. I mean, I think Yama, he's pathetic in a West Ham shirt. He's weak. He's slow. He might do one good thing in 10 games.
Yeah.
It does make you think he's a bit of a passenger. Do you know what I mean? So I think, I think maybe get Vlasic up top, give him the starring role, and maybe tweak things about a bit. Get Masuaku up there supporting, because I do want to find a place in the team for Mas, because I think he offers a lot of pace, a lot of trickery.
Yeah.
And if it means we've got to shuffle the pack a little bit, I think that'd be better option than having Yarmo muck around just trying to do that left-footed shot cutting from the right-hand side all the time. He's a bit of a one-trick pony. But mate, I'd love to see Okaflex in there. I doubt he will, if I'm honest. I think you know what Moyes is like with the youngsters. He tends to bide his time. But
he's got 5 subs he can use tomorrow, though.
I think whatever team we put out, it'd be nice to see some more of Crowell if he's over the. That's what I mean. I think if Crowell is fit and over the COVID, I would like to see more of Crowell, because he didn't set the world alight, but at the end of the day, he's a defensive midfielder, and we went to Old Trafford and didn't concede a goal, so he kind of done his job as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely. I thought he had a good game.
Yeah.
Tom's come in. He's gone Areola, Kufal, Dawson Diop, Masuaku, Kraul Lanzini, Vlasic, Benrahma, Fredericks, and Yarmolenko in a 4-1-4-1 formation. Interesting. Hammerhead's come in. He's gone 4-3-2-1. He's gone the old Christmas tree route. He's gone Areola, Cresswell, Diop, Dawson, Kufal, Kraul, Rice, Lanzini, Yarmolenko, Bowen, Vlasic. Some interesting selections there. As I say, I wouldn't be averse to putting Okaflex in the squad. I'm not too sure whether I'd start him, but I wouldn't have a problem if he started from the bench. Give him the last 10 minutes. No problem with that. But I think that tomorrow, and exactly what Tom says there, and I had this discussion. I was watching Two Spanners, One Hammer on Hammers Chat yesterday, and there was a conversation that was going on, basically sort of saying, I know it's not an either or in real life, but the Liverpool game or the Genk game, which one's the most important? And Charlie agreed with what I said in the chat, that the Genk game, in a way, because it's like, well, if we win tomorrow, that's pretty much the group wrapped up, and the last two games become dead rubbers, so we can rest everybody. We could in theory, play the under-23s in the last two games. It really doesn't matter. No, I'm saying we could. I'm not saying I would, but I'm saying we could. Do you know what I mean? You could rest players that are a little bit weary and all the rest of it. But that's my opinion. Charlie agreed with me, but Wally and Ray went the other way and they said Liverpool. So pays your money, takes your choice.
I disagree, Rob. On the basis, I think, say if we lose tomorrow, we've still got another two games to put that right. Whereas, do you know what I mean? I feel like every game in the Premier League, even if you just snatch a point, who knows where that might get you at the end of the season?
Maybe. But I guess everybody's got their own opinion on it. Should we have a look at the Genk lineup? Yeah. What I suspect. There we go. Right. Let me get rid of that. So it's Van der Voort in goal, Arteaga, Lushimi, Sadik, and Preciado as the back three, Torsvet, Hainan, and Hrozovsky as the midfield three, and Pansil, Onuachu, and Ito. Ito, actually, I thought looked very lively in the first game, because I know you was there, Duke. You were quite impressed with him as well, weren't you?
I was impressed with both him and Preciado as well. I thought they were really good down their right hand side. Like the pair of terriers is what Joe, my Ralph, called them. They literally chased everything down. Everything that was good about Genk came from them, as far as I'm concerned. They didn't give up. They kept chasing. They kept doing. And I was really impressed by the pair of them. Don't get me wrong, they weren't technically gifted or with an abundance of talent, but it was their raw desire to do what was best for their team that really did impress me. And I just thought they were really, really good in that sense. They chased everything down. They harried, they harassed our left side. And I'll tell you what, once at one point they got the goal and it came down the right, which was obviously disallowed early before we scored. The two of them were a pain in the arse throughout the game until obviously I think it was Ito. I think Ito was subbed off, but looked really good. Just want to quickly point out that played in the right formation, played with the right tactical set around him, he will score, and he has done so again this evening, and he has scored what looks like he's going to be the winner for Ajax against Dortmund. No. He has scored with 5 minutes to go.
Oh, he hasn't, has he?
And listen, I'll be honest with you, I'm happy for him.
Yeah,
I am happy for him.
Good luck to him.
He's in a formation and in a team that he's playing to his strengths and not his weaknesses. And unfortunately, he came into our team and was expected to play in a way that he wasn't used to, and now he's playing in a way that he can, and boy is he doing so. So good luck to him, and I think that's a massive result there, and to be fair, quite a shock, I've got to say, if Ajax do actually beat Dortmund.
Ben, you obviously saw what you saw of the first not the first leg, but the first match against Genk in the last game up. I did it again, Upton Park, London Stadium. I'm showing the age. Do you know, it's funny how often I do that. I occasionally will say Upton Park instead of London Stadium, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. Was there any players that stood out for you in that first game, Ben, from Genk?
To be honest, mate, I'm gonna hold my hands up, and you'll be disappointed. I never actually watched the game.
Oh no!
But there was a little lad on the wing, which I'm presuming is the same guy that Duke was just talking about. Does he look a bit Chinesey?
Yeah. He was Japanese. Yeah, Ito.
Yeah. He
Blonde hair.
you know, from the highlights I saw, eh?
He had the blonde, like the bleached blonde hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From From the highlights I saw, every time they had the ball, it was him that was with it. You know what I mean? And he was causing a lot of problems. You know, like culturally, those players from like the Far East, they can be really hardworking pests. Do you know what I mean? Like Kagawa or, you know, the lad that played for Man United, they just don't stop for a minute. Son, you know, those sort of players. He looked pretty tidy, and obviously that Jay Pantsil, I presume that's not the fella that used to play right back for us about 10 years ago, no?
It's not John Pantsil, it's Joseph Pantsil. I don't believe it's a relation, despite the fact he's got the same surname, despite the fact he's also Ghanaian. I'm not aware of a connection between them, but you might have noticed the name Torstvedt in their midfield. That is Eric Torstvedt's son.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to ask the question about that one.
Yeah, it's his son, Christian Torstvedt.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I thought in that first game, Genk played
no
some
real household names from their team, is there?
No, I thought Genk played some neat and tidy football in that first game. It was just a 15-minute spell between minutes 45 and 60 that we sort of like stuck it into fifth gear, and our quality. Cresswell's delivery, he got two balls into the box. Dawson got on the first one, Diop got on the second, and then a quick fire goal from Bowen to basically wrap it up and job done. And we just needed that 15-minute spell to pull clear of them. I suspect tomorrow's going to be a little more tricky, partly because it's obviously it's going to be played in front of a sort of home crowd, and they're going to be roaring their boys on. But I just don't see any way that we're going to lose this. I really don't. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful. If anyone watches this that's a Genk fan, I'm not trying to be provocative. I'm not trying to say, you know, be insulting or anything. But it's like, what did I see at London Stadium other than playing some pretty football? That there was not really too much that I looked at and went, oh, that looks a little bit sort of dodgy. I mean, there was that little flap from Areola, wasn't there? Other than that, I didn't really have any moments where I went, oh crumbs, they nearly went close. It was all pretty sort of, you know, there was pretty football played, getting it from back to front, but when they got it to the front, it was like, well, now what?
Yeah, I mean,
I'll tell you what, though,
didn't impress me. The big fella that we were looking to sign, I think I texted you, Rob, during the game. He just looked like a typical lanky, tall centre forward that seems to be doing it in his home nation, but it really didn't impress me against better players. You know, I'm not being funny. If we did end up signing him, he's going to be coming up against better players week in, week out. And let's be honest, as Ben alluded to earlier, Dawson and Diop are not our first choice centre backs.
No,
and he was up against them. And there are, in fairness to Diop and Dawson, there are some significantly better centre-backs in the Premier League. And, you know, if he comes in to play for us, he's going to become up against significantly better centre-backs. So I just wasn't impressed with him. Unless he goes out and scores that trick against tomorrow, I probably still won't be impressed with him.
Nah, that's fair enough. Just on the screen there, I've got the form guides in all competitions and in Europa League. Again, I can't look at that and make a case for Genk. Can you boys? Ben, how about yourself?
No, and do you know, I think a big component of that is that centre half pairing of Dawson and Diop. I think that's developing really nicely as a backup centre half pairing.
Agreed.
And they're getting into a good habit of not conceding a goal. I think Dawson is a leader, and I think he'll instill that mentality that we don't concede. And Diop is, I think a few of us, maybe including myself, wrote Diop off a little bit. But I think he's still a young lad. He's still, developing all the time as a centre half. And I think, long term, he can be a real top player for us. So I think, the longer we can continue in these cups, develop him as a player, that's going to be great for our team in the future.
Yeah, I agree. Duke, on the West Ham form, do you see another W coming? Is that the only result you can foresee?
Listen, if it's not, and I think I've banged on about this enough over the course of our campaign so far, and I said it when we had the draw. I'll be pissed off if we didn't maximum points from all 6 games. If I'm honest with you, I just think we've got too much. And you said yourself there, Rob. Bar a 15-minute period either side of half time, we dominated that game. Absolutely dominated that game. But what I mean is, they didn't have anything to bother us.
Yeah.
So
they were like an annoying mosquito buzzing around, weren't they? And
we dominated without breaking a sweat.
Yeah.
In much the same way that we've been doing in the Premier League. We control the game. We control the game without having the ball. We let them have the ball. Go keep the ball. Don't give a shit. Off you go. Titch. And it didn't bother us. We weren't worried by it. But when we kicked in, bang, we got the 3 goals and went crack on, have the ball. We don't care anymore. And I see much the same again tomorrow. I just don't see them having enough to cause us those kind of, goal scoring problems. I think we had our eye off the ball in the first, for the first goal or the goal that was disallowed for them. We had our eye off the ball. Then we put our head back on. We played again. We stepped it up. We got the goals fairly quickly to each other, and then we didn't look fast after that. We didn't look fast. They didn't bother us. And I see much the same tomorrow. I can see another wonderful W to get rid of that fucking red L. Just push it off the screen.
It's annoying, isn't it? It needs to be knocked off its perch, as Alex Ferguson said in 1986. I'm going to make you 2 boys smile with this next one. Look at that.
Oh, I thought you were going to.
That's beautiful, isn't it? That's a thing of beauty.
A naked picture, then I was like,
no, that's when we hit end broadcast. I'll show you that one. If we get the 3 points tomorrow, obviously we're on 12. Genk is still stuck on 3. I'm then hoping for a Zagreb Rapid Vienna draw, because then we're 6 points clear with 2 games to go. I think they need snookers at that point, don't they? To sort of like even knock us into second.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's ridiculous. I mean, I had a bit of an argument yesterday. I love a Twitter spat with someone who turned around and said that we're nowhere near favourites to win this tournament. And I just Chelsea fan. I don't get it. Shut up. Concentrate on your own team. Let us enjoy what we're doing at the minute. Just leave it alone. We're dominating this group. We're dominating. From the football that I'm watching us play is significantly better over a more consistent amount of time in a game than I am seeing from anyone else. I think the only other ones that I've seen come clear to us have been Napoli, with the way that they played against Leicester. Other than that, I haven't been impressed by anyone else. I've watched most of the games because obviously we have them on downstairs in the pub, so I'm seeing the game. So, and I'm seeing the highlights that come from it. So, I just think, we'll come out of this group and we want to finish top. You just said there about snookers. We have to finish top because we don't want to dick around with the playoffs before the knockout stages. We want to be there at the knockout stages. You guys dick around with your extra games. We're going to be ready and waiting. Whatever falls out of the Champions League, be it a really rough Barcelona side at the minute that I, as I've said before, would fancy our chances against the way they're playing over 2 legs. And I never, ever thought I'd hear myself say that.
Bring them on.
Madness.
But the way we're playing, I wouldn't care less who fell out of the Champions League and into our lap. I really wouldn't. Let's go. Bring them on. Because I tell you what, we got a very good result out of a City game. You know, we deservedly won that, I felt. And I will say deservedly won that. Even though it was on penalties, I thought we deserved it because we were dogged, we harassed them, we even looked like we were going to win it in normal time at one point. Thomas Souček decided to hit the spaceman about 15 times, but we looked like we were going to win it in normal time. So, you know, I don't fear anyone. I don't fear anyone. Let's get out of this group top and then go from there. Just because Titch.
Just because Titch. That's all there is to it. Ben, your thoughts on our group situation is you can't really see we're going to win this, aren't we? Surely.
I think so, Matt. I think from what I've seen so far, you know, it's difficult. We've played every game, every team. We've not conceded a goal. We've scored, you know, multiple goals in each game and looked pretty dominant. So I think I'm hoping that's going to continue. Let's win the group early, and then see. Like Duke said, I'm not too familiar with the format for the next round of the Europa. I don't know. Is it another league or is it playoff?
No, it's a last six. If we finish top, we go to the last 16, and it's a 2-legger again in that.
2-leg.
If we finish second, then we play a playoff round. This is a new thing that's been brought in this season. We play in a playoff round against the team that drops down from the Champions League.
Right. Well, we don't want to muck about with that, do we? We want to go top of the pops, go through, and then we'll, you know, anyone that's got any doubts about the stadium when we get into the knockout rounds of the Europa, bring them on under the lights because we'll have anyone.
Absolutely. Do we fancy some nuggets, chaps?
Give me some nuggets before my battery goes, Gatesy. Give me some
Absolutely.
nuggets.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. This will be only our second trip to Belgium in all competitions after a 1-0 win over CegekA Ghent, not Genk, Ghent, back in September 1964 in the Cup Winners' Cup. And I think it was Ronnie Boyce that got the goal, I do believe.
Budgie Boyce.
Yes. Genk have conceded more goals via set pieces than any other side in the UEFA Europa League this season, with 4 conceded, with 2 of those coming at the London Stadium in a reverse fixture on match day 3. That's good news, isn't it, chaps? Given we know that we're pretty prolific at set pieces.
Listen, Cresswell, if he starts tomorrow, will have another couple of assists like he did last week.
I'm just thinking, get it on Dawson's head, mate. Get it on Dawson's head.
Yeah, absolutely. Next nugget. Genk have lost their last 4 home matches in all European competitions, and it is already their longest ever losing run at home in Europe. Now, there's a little part of me, the cynical West Ham fan in me says, but that run's going to end at some point, and you know the West Ham
tomorrow.
No, I know, but like I say, Duke, you know, you've been supporting West Ham for almost as long as I have. I've just been around a little bit longer, only by a little bit. Don't you start. But, you know, it's the cynical West Ham fan in me. You know, how it is. There's a striker that's on a barren run and we're playing them. You know what happens next? He's going to score a goal. If there's a team that's on a barren run, we turn up, they're going to win against us. So I look at that and I do kind of go, oh, Christ, here we go.
That was the old West Ham. That was the old West Ham. This is a new West Ham under David Moyes.
Do you know
They're
what?
fine.
That's it. This is David Moyes' West Ham.
Yeah, he's turned it around, doesn't he, Ben?
Oh mate, he's done. He's slowly turning us into what he done at Everton, a consistent, good side that no one wants to play against. And if anything, we've got that little bit more flair than he had at Everton. So hopefully we can kick on even more than he did with them.
I'm just going to add a little bit of context to the chat. This statement that Titch put in, they did win their last two games 6-2 and 6-0. However, it should be noted that the 6-0 game was against a team in the third tier of Belgian football. So they were a team of farmers. So I'm not too sure I look at that result with an awful lot of fear. It is correct to say they did win 6-0, but it was like us going out and beating, I don't know, Scunthorpe. Not
Gents, I've got to depart. I do apologise. Thanks for having me on. It's been great chatting,
welcome.
and I'll try and join you to do the post-match analysis at some point. Yeah,
perfect, brilliant.
Sounds
Cheers,
good, mate. Thank you.
Cheers, bruv. Take care.
Bye bye.
Take it easy.
And I'm going to have to get this out of the way a little bit lively because your battery's dying.
3%.
West Ham
3%.
beat Dinamo Zagreb on the road in Matchday 1 and are looking to win consecutive away games in European competition for the first time since September 1999, which was a run of 3 games. I think that was in the Intertoto into the Europa League, the UEFA Cup as it was then. I'm fairly sure. Would I be right, Duke?
I think so, mate. Yeah, I mean, listen, doesn't matter. Like we said a moment ago, it's a different side. We're a different team. We're playing with so much confidence now, and us as fans are feeding off of that confidence. And I think the players and the club are also feeding off of our confidence in them. I went to the London Stadium for the Genk game last 2 weeks ago, and my word, the place was buzzing. The walk up. We drove up and we walked round. And the feel, the buzz, the excitement was something I'd never experienced before. Even going to Upton Park, the atmosphere was amazing. It was a great atmosphere, but just the expectation that we've got right now is just something else. And you know what? If Leicester can do it, why can't we? And I'll tell you what. I looked at the table today. How many points between us and top? Is it 4.2 points?
Bear with me. I shall just look. Top is Chelsea with 25 points, and we are fourth with 20. So we're 5 points behind.
5 points. That's not insurmountable, Rob. That's not insurmountable in the grand scheme of things.
Another 28 games left. Of course it isn't.
Listen, I'm. Listen, like I said, if Leicester can do it, there's no reason we can't. And if it ain't the league, it's going to be Europa League. If it ain't the Europa League, it's going to be the Carabao Cup. Something is coming to the London Stadium, and we are all witnessing the beginning of something very, very special within this club. And I'm convinced of that. And David Moyes and the backroom side are a huge, huge reason for that.
Last nugget. This will be West Ham manager David Moyes' 1,000th match as a manager in all competitions. It will be the 40th to take place in European competition, winning 22 of those matches to date, drawing 6 and losing 11. So a little bit of personal history for the man at the top.
And you know what? I take my hat off to him, because it would have been quite easy for him to have walked away from a lot of it after the bullshit that he suffered at Sunderland and the bullshit he suffered at United and Sociedad, and then what happened after being relieved from us. So good luck to the fella. Gatesy, I think you're about to lose me. I think my battery is at 1% and he's struggling.
Score prediction.
So
Give us your score prediction.
I'm going to disappear and let you finish this up,
Give-
mate, because it really does look like my laptop is shutting its.
I think he's saying
down.
3-0. It looks like 3-0. Yep, he's gone. Duke has left us. I think he was trying to say 3-0. You guys in the live chat, give us your score predictions. Give us your first goal scorer as well. Why not? Just because. It's only us here. Why not? So me, I'm going to say we're going to concede our first goal in European competition tomorrow. I've just got a funny feeling that we're going to concede a goal, but I think that we're going to, when we concede it, we're already going to be 2-0 up. I think we're winning 2-1. That's what I'm going for. If I've got to go for a first goal scorer, I'll tell you what, Vlasic. Why not? Why not? Vlasic first goal scorer. West Ham to win 2-1. Convincing win. And I'm keeping my fingers crossed for a draw in the other one because that will probably be Group 1 done, sorted. 0-1 Dawson. I like it, Mr. Burford. I like it. I reckon it will be if it is going to be Dawson, it will probably be a Cresswell delivery. I think Cresswell will get the assist. It took Moyes a lot. But that's a fair point, Kieran. That is a fair point. We'll take that as a compliment. 3-0. Oh, that would be absolutely brilliant. 3-0 away from home in a European competition. 4th clean sheet in the competition on the bounce. My goodness. I'd take that all day long and twice on a Sunday. Kieran's gone 2-0. Who's your first goal scorer, though, Kieran? You've left that one off. Who's your first goal scorer? Team Sino. Now, I don't believe we've had the pleasure, my friend. Welcome along. Much appreciated to your support. And he's gone 0-4 and Antonio. So you've obviously got Antonio's going to start tomorrow. I got a funny feeling David Moyes might just hold him back for the Liverpool game. But well, listen, I'd certainly take a 4-0 win. Good God, that's really quite a good result. Yep. How you doing, Cyber? All good. And Kieran says his opening goal scorer would be Dawson again. Oh, Dawson's. I wonder what his odds are on Bet365. Other bookmakers are available. Cyber's gone 3-0. He says Antonio won't start. I suspect so, but you never know. The Moisey might pull a shock. Who's your first goal scorer, though, Cyber? Who's your first goal scorer? So we've had 2-1 from me. Tom's gone 1-0 West Ham. Budgie's gone 3-0. Kieran's gone 2-0. Sino's gone 4-0. This is all West Ham, of course. Wouldn't be very good if Sino went 4-0 to Genk. It'd be like, what? And Cyber's gone 3-0 West Ham. I can't make a case for Genk. I just can't. And like I say, if anybody's watching that's from Belgium, if anyone's watching that's as a sort of Genk fan, I apologise. I'm not trying to belittle your team, but I didn't see enough from you in the last game to really suggest you're going to be a threat. And yes, you might have scored 12 goals in your last 2 games, but let's have it right. One of them was against a 3rd-tier team in Belgium. So with all due respect, I'm not really going to look at that with too much fear in my veins. Did Antonio go on that plane, Bowen or Benny first? Don't know, mate. I did see a photograph with Rice and Ben Rama apparently travelling with the squad. So make of that what you will. Doesn't mean they'll start, of course. They might just be on the bench. Who knows? But anyway, I am going to disappear. As Budgie says, though, Team Sino, please like and subscribe. That's the rules here. That's the rules. You're not allowed to go. You're not allowed to have your dinner until you've liked, subscribed, and share it. Why not? Why not? Share this stream onto your social media platforms. That really does help the channel because you can obviously get the channel out there to people that otherwise might not have seen it. So we really would appreciate it if you like the stream. That's for definite. But please share it onto your social media platforms, your Facebook, your Twitter, your Instagram, and all that. It really does go an awful long way. Is he busy at the pub? Mate, you've got no idea. You've got no idea. I'm lucky that I had him on tonight. Let's put it like that. Cheers, buddy. Appreciate it. Right, guys, I'm going to disappear, but you know the mantra. drop a like on the stream, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you, what was it Duke said? Did he say molest? Is he molesting the bell, bashing the bell? Do you know what? Whatever. Just click the button where the bell is. And then as and when we upload any new channel or do any lives, you'll have a little notification that comes up on your mobile device that says Gatesy, Duke, or whoever is doing some nonsense on YouTube. You might want to have a look and point and laugh at them. I've got no idea. I don't monitor his every movement. He's a mate of mine, but I ain't got a clue. What's this? Kieran's off. Thanks for coming, mate. Do appreciate it. We'll be there Sunday for our home. Oh, the Liverpool game. Don't know. He's not a season ticket holder, and he obviously, because he's a manager of a pub, weekends are a little bit of a busy time for him. So I've got no idea what the situation is there. Whacking the bell over. Oh, mate. Does anybody on here remember Beauty and the Beast? It was an American series in about the late 80s, early 90s, and it had Linda Hamilton in it, who, if you remember, she was John Connor's mum, Sarah Connor, in the original Terminator film. And the Beast was played by an actor called Ron Perlman. Well, when Ron Perlman was done up as the Beast, I'll tell you what, get a photograph of him done up as the Beast from Beauty and the Beast, and then have a look at a photograph of Amanda Stavely. Once you've seen it, you can't unsee it, mate. I'm telling you. Guess who I got out of Match Attack today? Don't know, mate. And to be honest with you, I'm not too sure. Is it a card sort of thing? I'm not too sure. I got to be honest, mate. I'm in my mid-40s. Means nothing to me. Yep, what's that? You soon. All good, Clive. Thomas Socek. Oh, maybe that's an omen, Cyber. Maybe he's scoring the opener tomorrow. Now, it may well be that I've got this wrong. I've got a funny feeling that this is the chap. Any of you guys that watch my Matchday vlogs, we did a Matchday vlog for the Palace. I think it was the Palace game. It might have been the Leicester game. So, no, it was the Leicester game. I'm sure it was. And if I've got it right, this chap here was one of the guys that was sitting in front of me. I might have got this wrong. Come back to me. Tell me whether I'm right or wrong. But you were sitting in front of me and I interviewed you on my Matchday vlog. Have I got it right? Have I got it right? I'm fairly sure, because if I'm right, you're from Marseille. See, I remember these things because we had a little chat, and he said about Marseille, and obviously Dimitri Payet's name come up. I could be wrong, and if I have, I apologise. I've got you confused with somebody else. It's just that I vaguely remembered it could be he could come back to me and tell me I'm talking complete cobblers, and that he's never met me before in his life. But yeah, there was don't you start. Don't you start, Mr. Burford. Au revoir, mon petit pois. Bonnet de douche. Listen. If you're if you are French and you're wondering what I'm going on about, you need to Google Only Fools and Horses, and then it'll become a bit clearer for you. It's a old 1980s British sitcom. It was very, very funny. It's part of our culture in this part of the world. Will you get a Genk fan after preview like you done with Tommy Ball? Mate, it's a bit easier to converse with people in England for obvious reasons, language and all the rest of it. To be honest with you, I haven't even tried. So very, very unlikely. We have I'll share this with you guys before I disappear. We have got a Liverpool fan lined up to do the opposition recon and opposition aftermath for the game on Sunday. Not too sure when we're going to record it yet for the opposition recon. It will probably be done on Saturday, I'm guessing. Hopefully Duke will be able to get the time to do it. If not, then I'll jump in. That's not a problem. But we've got I think his name's Douglas, if I remember correctly. But yeah, we have got a Liverpool fan lined up, but we haven't got a Genk fan lined up. But here's what it is. Fromage frais. Brace yourself, Rodney. Oh, mate, yeah. one more turn, Del Boy. Listen, I could sit here for hours talking about Fools and Horses. Does anybody remember Grandad? The bit where you had Rodney, Del Boy, and Grandad, and Rodney's just been tucked up by Mickey Pierce, and he says, "Oh, I'm going to go into the self-catering holiday trade," and then Del Boy says, "What, on 250 knicker?" And Rodney turns around and says, "Yeah, well, we're starting in a small way." And Grandad turns around and says, "What you got, a Wendy house?" One of the best lines, honestly, really is one of the best lines. And he was a really funny man, Leonard Pierce, as was Buster Merrifield, who replaced him. Have I seen it live? Yes, I've seen. Well, if you're referring to what I think you are, the musical, yes, we saw it October 2019. Yeah, unfortunately, when we saw it, Paul Whitehouse wasn't playing the part of Grandad. He got some other commitment elsewhere. So I never actually saw it with Paul Whitehouse. So I'm probably going to try and go and see it again and hopefully get Paul Whitehouse in the role as Grandad. But there you go. I'm glad Simon's not here. He loves Fools and Horses. He was right there, mate. He was right there. He remembers Grandad. He was funny. Yes, he was. An awful lot of the dialogue now has been cut out. When you see a lot of Fools and Horses now, a lot of the sort of dialogue in places has actually been chopped up because they consider certain things to be a little bit sensitive. Whatever, it was of its time, but I don't think there's anything there that's really over the top. Certainly not like some things that I could mention in the 70s that were going on, and some of you guys will probably know some of the programs I was talking about. He is here. Yes, he is. On the buses. Yeah. What was her bloody name? Olive. Yeah. My wife has never seen it, but we're going. Oh my, your wife has never seen Only Fools and Horses, and you married her? I'll tell you what, she must be a really good cook. He saw Paul Whitehouse. Yes, I am in the building, chatting nonsense as usual. You've never seen a full episode of it. Scott Venn. Oh my goodness. You need Saved by the Bell. What? That was... Oh my God. Mr. Venn, you have gone right down in my estimation. Saved by the Bell. You are comparing Saved by the Bell to Only Fools and Horses. I wouldn't go that far, Simon. I'm sure she's a lovely, lovely lady. Don't divorce her. You just need to educate her. Educate her. Do I remember for Arthur from Omnibuses? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. He does the cooking. Oh, fair enough. Yeah. Father Ted. Yep. Another good sitcom. Close. I think Olive. Yep. We were at 40 Towers dinner on Friday, and our table was talking about Only Fools and Horses. It's convinced. Listen, you need to get your missus to watch an episode of Fools and Horses. Just anyone. If I had to pick one, I think I'd probably pick the one where he falls through the bar. I think we're onto a winner here, Trig. Play it nice and cool, son. Know what I mean? And then he disappears through the bar. And I just love sort of like the after bit. It's not just sort of like the bit where he falls through the bar, but Roger Lloyd Pack. Now this. If anyone's a Fools and Horses fan, this might be a little known. Might be something you don't know. Roger Lloyd Pack wasn't originally scripted to be in that scene. But apparently he was walking around backstage and there was conversations that were had. And then at the 11th hour, Roger Lloyd Pack got drafted in to be a part of the scene. And it was a good job he did because he was such an integral part. Because, of course, Del Boy goes flying through the bar. And it's the reaction from Trigger where he's looking around like, where the hell's he gone sort of thing. And then all of a sudden, Del pops up. All sort of like hair all over the place, looking quite disheveled and shocked and all the rest of it. And he's like, drink up, we're leaving. And he's like, what, you're not going to pull those birds? And he's like, no, you're cramping my style. Beautiful. Right, I'm just going to go through these last little comments before I sod off. I've got started talking about Fools and Horses. I could literally be here for hours. Used to love My Hero. Oh, sorry, mate. Sorry, Simon. I'll watch an episode. You've got to, Scott. You've got to. Honestly, watch the one with the. I'm trying to remember what it was called. Someone in the chat will probably put it up. The one where Del Boy falls through the bar. That's the one you need to watch, Scott. That's the one you need to watch, and that's the one that your missus needs to watch as well, Tom. Unless you watch all the Fools and Horses episodes, yep, you got to do it. More a touch of frost kind of guy too. Yeah. I mean, David Jason's a fantastic actor. Hard to believe he's in his 80s. The card game is my favourite. That's 4 races. Yeah, I've got 2 pair. 2 pair? Do you remember the Batman one? Yes, that's another classic one. I think if you think of Fools and Horses and you think of specific scenes, I think you think of the chandelier, Batman and Robin, and you think of Del Boy falling through the bar. They're the ones as far as I remember. Olive was a honey. Anna Karen, I think was her name, wasn't it? You're cramping my style. That's the one, Budgie. That's the one. No income tax, no VAT. Yes. Roger Lloyd Pack was in Doctor Who. Yes, he was. He played John Lumick. Cyber leader. There you go. Jolly Boy's outing. Oh yeah, the coach exploding. Yeah. Speaking of Doctor Who, it's back. You need to watch it. To be honest with you, Cyber, I kind of lost interest in it when Russell T Davies buggered off. You know, it seemed to go downhill after that. I watched it with Matt Smith playing the part. I thought he was all right. When it got to Peter Capaldi, I was just like, nah, not for me. Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Now, here's a little confession for you. I've never seen any of the Harry Potter films. There you go. I live near Margate and it's nothing like that nowadays. No, they've scrubbed it up a little bit, haven't they? It had a little period of down and then they've reopened Dreamland or whatever they call it now. And it seems to have had a little bit of a renaissance. What about Danger Mouse, says my good lady wife. There was something on the radio about Danger Mouse the other day because apparently David Jason has apparently turned around and let it be known that Danger Mouse was actually his favourite role to play. Wasn't Del Boy, wasn't Frost. It was Danger Mouse. It was his favourite role. It's incredible. Yeah, don't admit that. Anyway. Oh, the hang gliding. Yeah, that was Rodney getting Del Boy back for turning up the sunbed lamps, wasn't it? And then Rodney ended up looking like a Red Indian. So Rodney got Del Boy back by getting him to do the hang glide, and it was like, oh, we'll say it's the car phone, and he's like, isn't that the car phone ringing, Rodney? No. Are you sure? No. We haven't got a car phone. And then with that, Del Boy's got to do the hang gliding and he's off. And yeah, used to love those nights. RTD. Oh, Russell T Davies. Yes, apparently he is. But anyway, I've got to the end of the comments. Right, guys, it's been really great to chat football with you and just shoot the breeze and talk Fools and Horses. Honestly, Fools and Horses. Should we do a stream? I know this is a West Ham fan YouTube channel. Should we do a stream where I just sit here talking to you guys about Fools and Horses? Is there any value in it? Let me know. You've got the Twitter handle @FoolsTalk. Drop me a message. Let me know. Gatesy, it's a good idea. Gatesy, it's a bad idea. I'm interested. I'm not interested. Whatever. Simon says yes. Well, I know I'm going to have one. Budgie, that's 2. Apparently my daughter's asleep. My daughter, yeah, I've probably bored her to sleep. Anyway, before I bore any of you guys to sleep, behave. For a start, he's the taller one out of me and him, so therefore he's got to be Rodney. I've got to be the Del Boy, surely. What about this channel called The Comedy Banter? Don't know. Anyway, I'm going to bugger off, guys. As I say, stay safe. Really been lovely to talk to you guys, not just about the football, but as I say, about all of this. I'm going to do my usual sign out. You guys stay safe. Enjoy the game tomorrow. 3 points for West Ham. It will be a 2-1 win, and we're going to have the opening goal coming from Vlasic. It's going to be a good one. His confidence is going to be flying. You heard it here first. Come on, you Irons.